What is up, YouTube? HPJ here, and I come at you guys with another Harpie Deck profile. But guys, this is our current meta Harpie Deck profile. Yeah, I know many of you are probably just screaming right now because you're so excited that I'm finally doing a Harpie Deck profile to cater to more of the modern era. So let me just get this out the way before anybody comes at my throat and wants to, harp on me for things. So, right now in the current state of Yu-Gi-Oh! Itself, Harpies don't have any really good matchups. A lot of decks are a lot faster, there's a lot more consistency on a lot of their ends, and it really, unfortunately, sucks to want to play Harpie, where I guess our best matchups are just Rogue. Anything just out of the blue, out of the ordinary type of situations, Harpies are basically good at dealing with those decks. We have a lot of answers to them. We do have a lot of flexibility. But the issue is that currently right now, with Fire being a main province, we don't have a lot of answers to it because a lot of our answers are unfortunately banned for all the reasons we had nothing to do with. We were just able to play around with a lot of those things because of the fact that a lot of other cards were still out at the time. So cards like Samora, the Bird of Sovereignty, cards like Union Carrier, and even cards like Barrier Statue of Stormwind. So without those key pieces, unfortunately, there isn't much that Harpie can really do outside of just maybe trying to combo extend into a couple of big monsters and maybe try to finish off games like that. But because of this isn't Master Duel, and that's kind of where Harpies do get their big flourish, is that Master Duel tends to just allow them to be what they kind of need to be here in TCG. Because trust me and believe, you can keep the barrier statue banned. That's fine. But I would love to have some work back because some more was literally catering to helping out with the issues Harpies had. Which was, we don't have big monsters. We really don't. And the stability of our extra deck is already hot ass mess. And I'll save a lot of my other opinions for it in another video. But for right now, let's just go ahead and get through this, because this is Harpie and it's comboed with some Tribrigade. So, starting it off are 3 copies of Harpie Lady, then 3 copies of Harpie Channeler, 3 copies of Harpie Perfumer, then 2 copies of Harpie's Pet Dragon, Fearsome Fire, and 1 copy of Harpie Harpist. So those are the Harpies. Then we have triple copies of Tribrigade Nerval, 2 copies of Tribrigade Fractale, 1 copy of Curses, and 1 copy of Kit. And then for the last of the monsters, we have 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. So that is it for my monster lineup. Then we're going to go ahead and move on into the spells. Of course, this would not be a Harpie deck if we did not have copies of Hysteric Sign, and I am definitely wanting 3 of them. Then I'm running 2 copies of Elegant Egotist, 1 Harpie's Hunting Ground, and 1 Harpie's Feather Duster. Then for all the non-Harpie spells, we have 2 copies of Lightning Storm, 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talent, 2 copies of Unexpected Die. And that is it for the spells. Now we're going to move on into the trap cards, which is simply 3 copies of Harpie's Feather Storm and 2 copies of Tribrigade Revolt. Alright, that is it for the traps. That's the main deck, 40 in total. Now we're going to go on into our extra. I'm running 3 copies. Well, I'm running 1 copy each of the Harpie extra deck monsters: Harpie Conductor, Cyber/Harpie Lady, and Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon. Then that's followed by all of the Tribrigade monsters, which are Tribrigade Bearbum, the Rampant Rampager, Tribrigade Brigitte, the Verdant Blossom, and Tribrigade Shirag, the Ominous Omen. Then from there, I'm running 1 copy of the Ancient Warrior's Oath, Double Dragon Lord, and 1 copy of Appaloosa, the Bow of the Goddess. Then for all these Exceed monsters I have 1 copy of Lightning Chidori, 1 copy of Ice Beast Zero Fine, 1 copy of Abyss Dweller, 1 copy of Mecha Fan Beast Draco Sack, 1 copy of Number 11 Big Eye, and 1 copy of Double A Zeus Sky Thunder. So that is it for the extra deck, and that is a total of 15. So So let's go through it. So we're gonna start off with the monsters, and of course we have to talk about Harpie Lady. And here's the thing about this deck. While this deck is focused on its Tribrigade engine to help extend into some really good Link monsters, the thing about the Harpies is that one of their biggest issues is having an extender. So we have to look for outside components to help do the extending. Two of those is, well, playing monsters of our own that have the ability to special summon themselves through monsters whose levels are presently on the board. While the other is to play cards like Unexpected Die, in which allows you to flesh out Harpie Lady from the deck. And it does become an annoyance because you don't want to draw into the Unexpected Die more often than you draw into the Harpies. And then you don't want to draw any of the Harpies because you want them to be fluctuable for cards like your Elegant Egotist, your Harpie Channeler, and in setting up for things for later on. It's one of the issues that I say Harpies, when they combined with other archetypes, some of those other archetypes have their own array of things to help mitigate those issues. While in some cases, those issues aren't always easy to mitigate. And thankfully, there are some advances to it, but in other cases, it does become real painful. So you try to work out what you can, and that's kind of where the Unexpected Die tactic comes in, where you can just flesh out a normal monster, and because of whatever that normal monster will do to count for other abilities or other setups, that's where it will fall in line to be a support system for the rest of the deck in the combos that the deck offers. So, well, that is that for there. We have triple Harpie Channeler and triple Harpie Perfumer. Perfumer to search for yourselves in traps. That will specifically list Harpie Lady Sisters in its attacks. And while you control a level 7 or higher, a level 5 or higher Harpie, then you're able to add an additional card from your deck with a different name. While Harpie Channeler discards a Harpie card from your hand to then summon a Harpie monster from your deck, except for a copy of herself. And then when you control a dragon, she'll change your level from 4 to 7. So this really just helps out with a lot of the things that the older versions of Harpies do not have, which is a monster to search summon more Harpies to the board, and a monster to search out for the spells and traps that Hysteric Sign could not attach because they did not have Harpie in their name. But for excellent components for any Harpie deck, I definitely have to be here in their threes because this is cards, like I said, you want to see them as possible. You want to help get into your combos as soon as you possibly can. And it's literally thanks to the both of them. Now, this would not be a Harpie deck if we didn't have at least one of the two extenders in the archetype to be played around with, and that is Harpie's Pet Dragon Fearsome Fire Blast. Well, this monster's real tactic is one of two things. To be able to protect your level 6 or lower Harpie monsters cannot be targeted for attacks. Then on the bright side is that you can send any winged beast monster from your deck to the graveyard to then be able to do other tactics and stuff from the graves, because you can send Nerval through Dragon's Effect, and you can send Harpist through Dragon's Effect. The other thing about Dragon is that if you control a level 6 or lower wind monster, then you're just able to special summon this from your hand. That's why I'm running 2, because you can still fluctuate many of the things that this deck has to offer, including synchro summoning your synchro monster, or going into a lot of your Exceed plays. Not to also mention that it's the best way to put Harpist into the grave, so that at the end phase you can search for one of your other Harpies that you aren't going to search for through the effects of your Hysteric Sign. So that is it for the combination of those two. Now we go on into the Tribrigade. Nerval is here to be cute and adorable, while also being able to help you link summon into a lot of your other link monsters, as long as they're part of the Beast Warrior or Winged Beast setup. Honestly, just a good float in through a lot of things and really good for setting up. When it's sent to the graveyard, you're able to add a Tribrigade monster from your deck to your hand. So as long as it's not a copy of Nerval, which at that point we run a lot of the other options to get those pieces. Next up is Fractale, and Fractale ability is that it can send itself from the hand or field to the grave to then send a level 3 or lower Tribrigade monster from your deck to the grave. This is a great way to just, put more pieces of monsters into the graveyard to do what the archetype monsters do in the main deck, which is to banish Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monsters to then link summon into monsters from your extra deck with a lot more ease. There's also just a ton of things you can do easily with this. But you notice I'm not running 3 of it. I'm only running 2. I could run an additional one if I wasn't too scared of banless situations, but I think all the Tribrigade cards are at 3, so we shouldn't have too much of an issue there. Karsus is basically just a free discard special summon. Another easy to play summon. And then Kit's ability is that when she's sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Tribrigade card from your deck to your hand. I believe send it from your deck to your hand, right? From your deck to the graveyard. Primarily, you want her just to pick up pieces to send to the graveyard, in addition to sending someone like Fractal and then getting those abilities together. So, yeah, this is just my little plans. To be very honest with you, if it was me, 2, 2, 2, and I throw Kid away. Only because Revolt is kind of a thing, but that's just my opinion. And then last but not least is the only other monster in the deck, and that is our hand trap of choice, which is Ash Blossom. You can make any other, hand trap you want to. Heck, if you want to follow just in the formats of the Beast family, you can go ahead and just throw in, DD Crows. If that also wants to help out with it, you can try to pop in some DD Crows. So, alright, that is it for the monsters. Going into the spells, there's Hysteric Sign to help get our Harpie cards from our deck to our hand, being an easy target for Harpies' hunting ground to be popped. You can pop it with Conductor to protect your Harpies as well. Just so many versatile things you can do with this card. But sadly, it's locked behind hard once per turns, so you can't do both effects in the same turn, but you can try to benefit from them on different turns as well. So just pick and choose how you want to execute Hysteric Sign. Then we have Elegant Egotist, which basically its primary target is Harpie Lady for the combo extension. Then we have Harpie's Hunting Ground and Harpie's Feather Duster to remove spells and traps. Then we have the Lightning Storm to help remove monsters if need be, spells and traps. Then we have Triple Tactics Talent, because I don't have Triple Tactics Stress. So basically, I know I'm going to deal with Veilers and stuff like that. So this is a good way to draw cards or take control of something your opponent has, or look at their hand and start messing up with their card interruptions. It's actually getting rid of more of their hand traps or sending back more of their pieces so that they can't use those pieces. And then you just find ways to deal with those cards or cards to search out for those cards. Alright, moving on from there, we've already talked about the Unexpected Die. And then we go on into our trap cards. We have Harpie's Feather Storm. Single-handedly still one of the best Harpie cards in the game. But funny enough, the Harpie archetype is not the ones primarily using it. Because in terms of just outside of the current, high-tier meta synopsis, it's just basically a Harpie card that does well if you have a deck that has Winged Beast that you can take advantage of. And then being able to negate the activation of your opponent's monsters, which can be said for many other archetypes that do that on their own, or have a sustainable lineup of things to help assist with that. That's literally just the purpose of the fact that, some people do ask, if Featherstorm wasn't here, what would Harpies relatively be? And we probably just relatively be the legacy deck that a lot of people love to play, but it's still kind of in that own area of what it wants to do. And then the last but not least is Tribrigade Revolt, which just tries to bring everything together when you're part of the Beast family to go into these higher edged Exceed monsters. Primarily, you're using this to help you get into either your double dragons or into Shirag. So, alright, that's it for the main deck. We go into the extra. It is Harpie Harpies, so of course you're going to be running the triple Harpie extra deck monsters, Cyber Slash, Harpie Conductor, and Harpie Pet Phantasmal Dragon. Phantasmal Dragon, just an optimal monster, can beat, stick into things, and then take out your opponent's life points while protecting your Harpie monsters who cannot be targeted for battle or for card effect. Harpie Conductor, if your Harpie cards will be destroyed, you can destroy a spell card you control instead, and it combos well with Dragon. So stuff like Lightning Storm, Dark Hole, and them can't get rid of it that easy. She can send Sign to the grave to trigger off Sign's ability, and then she can also just be another name for Harpie, or just another material for some of your for your Link summons. Cyber Slash Harpie Lady, of course, being the synchro setup monster you can use, getting into your level 8s, and then taking advantage of all the abilities that she can hold onto, which is basically just bouncing cards back. That does help out because it does interrupt some things, but she is the biggest Harpie in tandem, and you know, with a lot of power stuff behind her. Yeah, Cyber Slash Harpie Lady can easily be a threat if she had just one little ounce of negation. That's all I'm saying. We do have the Tribrigade monsters as well, and I'm just going to be honest, outside of Shirag and Fergie, I really don't use the other two. I think it's two. Yeah, it's two. And for the most part, Rampager is just here to help you go get Revolt. That's really it. If it was, honestly, I can kick her and probably put in maybe another Fergie, another Shirag, keep the setups going. But, yeah, this pretty much it. You got your boss monster who can banish stuff when a beast warrior or winged beast is summoned to the field. You have Fergie to extend more plays, bringing more of the beast family onto the field, and when she's sent to the graveyard, you're able to draw a card and instant the card to the bottom of the deck. And then what is it? Barabomb. While I don't like her too much, she does help you go get Revolt and then, you know, correct your hand as well, similar to Fergie. Then, for all of the other extra deck monsters, the Double Dragons for their bounce effect, Appaloosa for her multiple negation, Chidori for face down card removal as well as removing face up cards, Zero Fine for her massive negation, Dweller to deal with the graveyard, Draco Sack for more extenders, Big Eye to steal your opponent's monsters, and last but not least is Divine Zeus, Double Sky Thunder, to basically be another put on top of these monsters once they've used up their material or used up their stuff to basically wipe the board clean if you need to. So yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys, for my Harpie Tribrigade deck profile. Will there be any more Harpie decks outside of the retro deck profiles? Probably not, because I am really invested in these retro deck profiles for Harpies, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm kind of just waiting on some more things. One thing I do want to know about, actually, no, I'll keep that in a later video, because I think that would actually be better for just another video. But yeah, this is going to wrap up for today's video, because I don't want to go for too long. So, I hope you guys enjoy the Harpie Tribrigade deck profile for this month. I'm going to keep you guys posted on things like I always do through the community tab or on social media. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, as it helps out tremendously. You hit the notification bell to be informed of when I upload more content to the channel. Social media links are in the description box below. And with that said and done, thanks everybody for watching. HPJ signing out. Take care.